today another theological forum. There were two. One on the primacy, which is the relationship between the Holy Father and a synodal church. And the second one, which is the one I went to, which is about the Episcopal Conference as a body within the body of the church. How do we understand the Episcopal Conference and the whole church? How do we understand the relationship between the local church and the church universal? And it was a wonderful moment to stop and reflect again about us as a local church. So the teaching of Second Vatican Council is that the true church subsists in the church universal, the true church subsists in the church local. That the local church subsists in the universal church, and the universal church subsists in the local church. That these two are not two separate realities. So it's not like a pie and the local church is a piece or a slice and other slices make up the whole. No, the whole and the individual are actually two realities, the same reality. And we see that in the image of body of Christ. You are not your hand, but you can't talk about your hand without talking about the whole body. And that's one image of using to talk about this relationship. This is why this is really important. Why is it important? Because the local church is not just a branch office of the Church of Rome. It is a reality in its own right that has its own mechanisms, its own culture, its own nuances, its own challenges, its own joys, and its own hopes. And that must be celebrated. But at the same time, the local church is not a reality in its own, disconnected on its own. It is a reality in relationship with the Church Universal. And how we hold these two together is really, really critical. And that was the part of one of our lectures today. The second one really had some intriguing things that was a good refresher and learning for me. How does the local church organize itself? And there are all sorts of synodal bodies that the church has. So we have the Presbyterial Council, that's the priests meeting together. We have a Vicars Council, that's where the vicars and the bishop meet together. We have a pastoral council for the diocese. We have a finance council. We also have a parish pastoral council, a parish finance council, and we also have a parish ministry animation team. All of these are synodal structures. And the point of these structures is discerning the will of God in the local context so that we all together are working hard at finding God's will at every level of the church. What came about is that the Eastern churches do this very different from us. So in the Eastern church, every parish is mandated to have a parish council and a finance council. For us, our praxis says we ought to have. But now the synod is moving to every parish will have. The other piece that is important is that the way we do our business is not by parliamentary democracy, but we do it by discernment and a discerning community, that we learn the skills of discernment while we're doing this work. The other piece to me that was really important is that each of these councils should really represent the complexity of our local church, so that when the council meets, the complexity of the local church is represented. That's something that we'll be working on. Now, all of this is really important stuff, because if we're going to be a synodal church together, it means that we all have to be represented and have a voice in this synodal church. So keep praying, keep staying with us, keep reflecting, keep asking God to show us what He wants for His church. This is His church. God bless you.